Okay, so you just tell me when I'm on.
Hey, come on, everybody.
All right, you're about to go on in the next 2 seconds. As soon as you start talking, I'm going to pan the camera upward and get you guys in a three-shot. So as soon as I start hearing you guys, that's when I'm going to move that camera to everybody. Right now, I'm focused on the desk on the bottom.
Okay.
Then I'm going to pan that camera upward. So we're going to go live right now.
Well, 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 well.
Good
God
morning.
bless you.
Hey,
God bless you.
everybody.
God bless
Good
every one
morning.
of you.
Woo!
You know what's
Wednesday.
up.
Woo!
This is the day that the Lord has
Yep,
made.
yep.
I'm rejoicing.
Yep,
I am
yep.
extremely glad in it. I
Hey,
am
y'all.
Pastor J.E.
That's
Sturdivant,
who he
Pastor
is.
Faith United Ministries,
That's who he is.
7905 Fernham Lane in District Heights, Maryland. That's just outside the DMV. And I've got on the left of me, Steph the Best,
Hey.
.net, .org,
Yes, she is.
.com, box of
That's
dots,
me.
DOT. And just so you all know, this is not the original box. The original box got eaten. So this is the replacement box of dots for Steph. But we're so happy to have her here. Steph, greet the people.
Good morning, great
Good.
people.
Come on.
WBGR, YouTube, what's up? I'm excited. I'm happy. I'm feeling the weather.
Come
I
on.
was expecting it to be like rainy, cloudy, gloomy, but it's sunny. It's warm. I feel like I'm still on vacation a little bit, so I'm
You're a
excited.
little tanned. You know, I'm looking at you. You're a little, yes,
That's my goal.
You have a little tan to you right about now.
browner.
Yeah. What you call her, Rihanna?
I got a little browner.
Oh, I thought you said you called her Rihanna.
Oh.
She said you got brown.
Yeah, browner.
That's what happens.
I'm excited. I'm happy that, God has blessed us with another day, like you said, and I'm just extremely excited to be here.
Well, I'm so glad to have you back, have you all back. I'll say something about that in just a second. On the right of me,
Hey, y'all.
yeah, there she is. There she is.
Hey,
WBGR family, YouTube family. Here, did you know we can't see you on YouTube? Here she is, Jossia.
Oh,
Yeah,
representing the
she's
shirt
right.
today.
Wait a minute.
Yes,
Yeah, Jossia,
thank you.
yeah. Representing
Appreciate
the
that.
ministry. Come on.
Hey,
Glad to have
everybody.
you greet the people.
Oh, I'm glad to be here. Hey, Pastor, because last week you were gone.
I was gone.
Right.
And
Right.
then you all said, "Well, turnabout is fair play." So as soon as I was on my way back, you was like,
Right.
"We are
Yeah,
outie,"
deuces. But we are here, y'all. WBGR, we miss you all because last week we found out when we was on our way here that there was a power outage. We was on our way, and they
Yeah.
called and said, "Hey, pump the brakes. No need to come because there's a power outage." So we wasn't able to come to you
so
all.
sorry.
So we miss you all, but it's so good to be back. So good to have you all watching and tuning in. YouTube family, hey y'all, we miss y'all. We're glad to be here. This is Back to Basics. If
It
you don't
is.
already know, Back to Basics, Eyes of Faith broadcast is where we give you the basics, the most simplest teachings that you need to help you in your life. We come from a scripture, biblical perspective, and we're just real people having real talk about some real issues. And that's our goal every week. So we thank you all. And we encourage you all on WBGR, on YouTube to share this because
Please share it.
this is for everybody. And we deal with some real stuff that we even go through ourselves. And we want to be able to help you all in the end. So we thank you for tuning in. But then share this a little later so that other people can enjoy it as well.
We're learning as we go along. Sometimes even when you're teaching, you are learning while you're giving instruction
Absolutely.
for somebody else. It's like, well, wait a minute.
Yeah.
What was that was just now said? Because you'll know stuff from the perspective of in your head. But then once you start bouncing things off of each other, you start saying, well, wait a minute, that went from a head information to a life application. I've got to now apply what I was just now saying to somebody else.
Yeah.
And something's wrong when you think that you're in a position to always teach and never think that you're ever in a position to learn. The best teacher is the one who puts themselves in a posture to keep on learning. The moment you stop learning, you begin to die. The reason why you begin to die is because you're telling yourself there's nothing left for you to learn.
Yeah.
And if there's nothing left for you to learn, then what's your purpose of continuing to be on planet Earth? And so we're here just constantly opening up. Every time we look at a passage of scripture, be like, Brother Sturdivant, you've been in that Luke 15 with that prodigal son. And that's that same Luke 15 is taking me all the way back to the book of Genesis. It's taking me all the way to the book of Revelation. You never exhaust a thing. You may get tired of researching, but you never exhaust it. So I'm ready. I'm glad to have a chance to just jump into this word. And what we're doing on this particular show is we're dealing with these whole family matters, these family relationship type of things. And happy to have my daughters here with me. If those of you who have been following me on Facebook, you'll see that yesterday, I think they said it was National Daughters Day. I'll be knowing about these things like that.
I had no idea.
And so late yesterday evening, I saw that. So I said, well, let me find a picture where I've got my natural daughters in it, but then I mentioned a couple of my spiritual daughters in it. You know, we were outside shoveling some snow in a blizzard.
Oh, yeah, that was
And
tough.
a couple of my spiritual daughters,
Yeah.
one who is sitting to the left of me right now, was out there, and I left it on record on the video that she went in the house and left me. I did leave that out there, that both you and Dora, who were at the home as daughters, but when it came to the work,
I worked for a little bit.
as daughters, you all ran in the house.
They grew up with driveways. I didn't, so that was different.
What?
It was different. I was like, oh, okay, I'm done.
I think you tried to sweep off a car. I was like,
that's it. I can do that one.
No.
That was work for real.
Yeah, but we had so much fun doing that. And that's really one of the things, we have fun as family. And that doesn't mean that we don't have issues, because we do have issues, whether it's with my natural daughter, my spiritual daughter. And I'm going to tell you all, I've got a rack of spiritual daughters. I mean, from here to Africa to Canada, I've got spiritual daughters all over the world. And I love them all because I've got a big heart and I've got a lot of love for everyone. And I think that some of my reason for reaching out to and having so many daughters, some of it is because of, girls that grew up in my home, and for some reason or another are no longer in my life, or I think that some of it goes back to even when I was in my younger, stupider years with aborting children. And as a result of aborting a child, then you wind up just having that void or something in your life. And I know that many times, and I've shared it before, because we are such a transparent ministry, that sometimes people will not say certain things, but we will say it. Because whatever, even though you don't talk about certain things, you're still affected by it. And I'm a believer that God cannot heal what we don't reveal. I'm going to say that again. Somebody needs to hashtag that and put that on their page. Make sure you please let people know that it's coming from Back to Basics Eyes of Faith radio broadcast. But God cannot heal what you won't reveal. And so a lot of what people are saying is, I'm telling my business, I'm really getting healed. And you never know that you are about to say something until the next thing you know is coming out of your mouth. You're like, oh, I didn't have that on script to say today. But God will have you say it so that somebody else can get healed. And anybody that tells you, my sweet sisters out there, any guy that's been in your life and you went through that process of an abortion or something by yourself, and the guy act like he don't care and act like he don't feel nothing, don't believe that. That stuff haunts him. It messes with him. And anytime something goes on with any other children later on in life, he winds up thinking, is this because of that? And so there is a ripple effect that comes as a result of decisions that we make. We've said it on this broadcast. I'm going to say it again. You can choose your choices, but you can't choose your repercussions.
And once
you
tell it.
Come on. Mr. Green just came in here. Mr. Lionel Green.
I said it the other day, I think we said it before. When I tell something that has gone
That's
on
right.
with me, it's my testimony.
Exactly.
When other people tell it, it becomes gossip. And I'd
Absolutely.
rather for you to hear from me, because it's my own story. Even if I have to process it and go through it,
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you about it. But don't let other people tell it, because then it
Yeah.
becomes gossip, and then people start talking about it. And, you rather tell it yourself.
You've got to tell your own story.
story.
You've got to tell your story. I got to get you better on screen, because it got me.
closer.
But
I did shower this morning.
you
Come
took
closer.
one, and maybe it's not even you that's lacking the shower. Maybe it's. I just got the revelation. If you took a shower and you took a shower, yet there's distance from me. Maybe.
We all clean. We all clean. We're all clean. Because at the end of the day,
But that's family. That's family. You know,
Right.
we're convinced that love loves past the phone.
Oh,
And
love
so
past
it's got
everything.
to love past the
Doesn't
phone.
matter.
Sometimes we're on here and we haven't brushed or anything like that, but we never let
happens.
you all know.
Yeah.
You know, we just keep on smiling.
Right. It looks good, you know, outside looking in. It looks good. But y'all don't
Everything
know.
is great. So we're really excited about all of y'all that are coming on. Thank you. We can see you all
Bolden,
on
Lisa Chu.
YouTube.
There you go. And speaking
Thank
of
you.
family, let me put this in before we get into it because we are excited about this thing that's about to
Yes.
happen.
That's
Only
what I
about-
was trying to segue
in about
into
3
until you
weeks.
started to make innuendos about the way I had body odor. But
Guess what?
it is about to happen.
It's about to
It's
happen.
about to go down.
Down.
You all have got
Yes.
to get ready. You have got to absolutely get ready. By virtue of what we've been doing, teaching here in our 10 o'clock broadcast on WBGR, we've been talking about family relational things in that area. And then in our afternoon session at 3 o'clock, we've been talking about love and how love is received, given, and that the foundation of how you really perceive love comes from out of the home. And we married those two sessions that we have been doing, and we're having one Family Matters conference. And I said it on our broadcast that everybody says Black Lives Matter, Blue Lives Matter, Blue Line Matter, All Lives Matter, Black Loves Matters. But we believe that if you put all of those together, what it comes down to is that family matters. It's all about family. And we're going to be doing this family conference, and that's going to be taking place on Saturday, October the 13th.
Yes.
Saturday, October the 13th, from what to what? From 10 o'clock
to
until
2 p.m. We're going to have y'all out so you can still have the rest of your day, but we want to make it a thing where, you know, it's something about that early morning type of situation.
Yeah.
So we're doing that in the morning, where it's a luncheon as well, because we're going to feed you all. We're
Lunch
gonna
brunch.
Feed you all. It's a lunch brunch. We're going to give you some information, some packages, and some things to do with your family while you're there. We're going to have some family photos that's going to be taken.
And you have to have some tools to work with. Sometimes you
tools.
don't do because you don't know.
That's true.
I want to give you some tools
Yep.
to work with. The things that we have been saying to you here, we're going to give you some tools. Now, are we going to have some family counselors
That's
there?
going to be there. We're going to have our family is going to be doing a family discussion on a panel. It's going to be something that is going to be amazing. You all have been asking about it, and here it is on Saturday, October the 13th at 10 a.m. It's a small fee for all those things we just listed: the tools, the counselors, the photos, the activities, the pamphlets, all of that. For those that are 18 and up, it's only $20.
18 and up, $20.
Only $20.
Wow.
And that includes everything. For those the ages 12 to 17, it's only $15, and then 11 and under is $10. So 20, 15, 10. You can come and bring your kids, everybody, great
We made it
grandparents.
affordable because we wanted everybody
Everybody
to
to be
be
a part.
there. We're going to have not just my wife and my 4 birth children, but Steph is going to be there. We're having our blended family, you know, because some people are more like family even though they didn't come from the same parents. And we've been seeing that a lot in our relationships, you know, and Steph calls me dad, and even though Steph is not my natural birth daughter, our relationship is one that I don't know if I could be any closer to you than if I had birthed you, because you know our relationship is just like that. Even to the point that Steph will come and ask me for money, and I have to remind her I'm not your father for real. I
said, "Yes,
don't
you are."
know. See, this is where it gets sticky. You need to come on because some of you all got people like that where they have been like family, and that's cool until they're like in the house and eating
your
food
groceries.
Right.
and staying over and washing their laundry, and you like, what? Are you living here now?
Yep.
Like, is that what's happening? I don't. Who ate my old popcorn?
That one, Steph.
Who drank the last little bit of Kool-Aid and left this much in there and didn't make no more?
That was her.
How does this happen? So there are family issues that we're going to come, and I know all of you all have them, and you've asked us about it, so come on, come be a part of it.
Say
You know,
that
don't
date.
be saying, oh, I wish I would have known. We've been announcing this for a couple of months.
Yeah.
You know, so you
And
know
make an
about this.
investment for your family.
Make
you
the
know,
investment.
This doesn't happen often, especially in our community.
It not, and we're talking about in our black community.
In our black community, this does not happen often. So while there's an opportunity presented, you know, take advantage because you never know, especially in this holiday season. You never know what people are going through, and you never know when God would say, "Hey, it's time for them to transition."
Absolutely, and you don't want to have something happen, and you wish you would have said
Exactly.
what you never said.
Yep.
You know, and I want you all to come on and just be a part of this.
Big family reunion.
Do it. Get ready, because I promise you, Thanksgiving is coming up.
Christmas
Is coming up. New Year's is coming up,
Valentine's
and
Day.
Valentine's Day is coming up, and all of the unresolved issues. Some of you will get in relationships during the holidays because you have no relationship with your family. You'll open up your arms, your legs, your heart to people that you shouldn't be opening your arms, your legs, your heart to, but you're trying to fill a void of love that you are missing from your sibling, from your mother, from your father, from someone in your family. And so we want you all to come get healed so that 9 months from now you don't wind up having a responsibility that you would not have had you gotten certain things healed concerning your family. You're looking for love in all the wrong places, you know, so we want you all to come be a part of this, and we're going to talk to you about it because we've been down that road. We've made those mistakes. We have done all of the wrong things, and we want you all to come and hear it from us, you know, and maybe it'll help you a little bit.
Bring everybody. We having our matriarch, pastor's mother.
My mother is going to be there. She's 96, and then my wife's mom, she's going to be there, and she's like 79, you know, and so they're going to be there, and then some of my 4 children are going to be there. You know, you see Janice all the time, but James is going to be there, Joelle is going to run through, Jeanette, Janice's twin, is going to run through, and then I've got extended children. I've got daughters, I've got sons. I don't know who's liable to fall up in there. You know, I know when we did the promo, my daughter Kim Lee was in there, the makeup artist to the stars, and Danny Ross was in there. You know, so I've got people who grew up in my home or who grew up close to our home. I mean, you'd be surprised at who's connected to the Sturdivant clan in the DMV area. So
it is so because Annalisa Chu said that she was going to drive down here. She's from New York.
She's from New York. She's one of my spiritual daughters.
So you got people that's going to be traveling. So we want you to be a part. And speaking of, because I'm going to mention these books, because a lot of these books, if you have read some of these books, Pastor has been transparent, as he mentioned. But even like his first book, No Longer Crippled, this came as a result of some of the things that he went through, not only in his own life and his own family, but also in our household.
Absolutely.
And so a lot of the books that he's written is as a result of what he has gone through in his personal life, his family. And so we encourage you all to not only come to the conference, but then also invest in these books. Everything is all about investment. And if you want to get better and do better, you got to, treat yourself better. So we want you to get these books, and you can get these books, 6 books that he has written: Encouragement in Small Doses, No Longer Crippled, From Trauma to Triumph, a devotional, A Divine Hunger, another devotional, Impacting Your World, Hearing and Knowing the Voice of God, and Learning to Soar. All these books have been a blessing, and he's been traveling around the world, and people have been getting these books.
Do you know there's a young lady that told me on Sunday when I was in Delaware. She said, I got that book, Daily Confessions, and I read it. She says, I was starting to read Learning to Soar. I got that Daily Confessions. It impacted me so much. She started a 6 a.m. in the morning prayer line Bible study using Daily Confessions for Impacting Our World. She says, and we have gone through that book for the past 2 years. We just keep going over and over and over again. Why? Because every time you read, I tried to explain it to her on Sunday. I said, when you are reading anything or listening to anything, you are listening in time, meaning you are listening or reading it from where you are. But if you go back and listen or read it a year later, it's going to sound different because you are not where you were when you listened or read it the first time. So we are hearing things in time. That's why when people do something, you say, well, why'd you do that? Here's their response. Because that's where I was at the time. Which means that if certain things had not been going on, or they had been at another time, they may not have even done that.
You got to get those books. And here's how you can get them. Here's how you can follow Pastor Sturdivant, know what he's doing. And if you want to become a sponsor, you can do those things. But to get his books, to purchase them online, you can simply just go to his website. And his personal website is www.dysfunction, Sturdivant Ministries.
STRIES.
.com. Again, www.JESturdivantministries.
STRIES.
If you go on that website, you can get and purchase his books. You can watch the broadcast that he's been doing on a YouTube channel. You can see what he's doing as far as events and stuff. And if you want to become a sponsor, a partner, you want Pastor Sturdivant to be a part of your next engagement, your next conference event, or if you want to be a partner of that, you can do that. Or if you want to say, hey, Pastor, you've been a blessing, I want to sow a seed. You can do that one or two ways. If you want to sow a seed and be a blessing, you can do that electronically via Cash App, and that handle is the $, capital D, lowercase r, capital J, capital E, capital
Tell me
S.
again.
Just a small way to say thank you for all that you're doing. You can sow a seed and be a blessing. I promise, no little amount is not enough. We appreciate everything, and people always constantly give something
They
to
are
you.
giving on a regular basis.
All the time. And
I'm so
thank you.
blessed. Thank you so very much.
That
Thank
Cash
you.
App handle is the $, capital D, lowercase r, capital J, capital E, capital S. Or if you want to become a sponsor or just have Pastor be a part of your next event, you can contact me, Janice Sturdivant, and I could be reached at 301-736-2383.
You got a new clap there.
301-736-2383.
Tell them one more time.
301-736-2383. I
That
just got back from the
must
islands.
be that Dominican
I
Republic.
just got back from it, so you know what?
I was like, wait a minute,
It came out a little bit. Sorry, a little Caribbean just came out a little bit.
I said you got a new clap. You came back brand new. Tanned and new. Come on.
Just give y'all a little something. I'm not going to give you the Spanish words that I learned when I was there because you didn't
Oh,
get ready for that.
God.
Because they did teach us some things while we were there, but I'll wait till later to do that.
Yeah, please do.
Buenos
Please do.
dias.
Oh,
Como
no, I thought you
estas?
was going to wait. I thought you were going to wait.
Bien. Good.
Bien means good.
Yes.
Muy bien is very,
Very good.
good.
See.
Yeah, and I didn't go.
Yeah, exactly.
I got what you
Right.
got, and I have to pay. Okay.
That's not fair.
So here we are. Listen, y'all, we're excited. We're glad
Yeah.
about doing that. Now, I want to hit you. I've got a few moments to do this today, and I want to drop something in there on you. We've been hitting on this thing about family so very, very powerfully. And let me just give a shout out to my friend, my brother, Pastor Scott Moore. Pastor Scott Moore is out there in the Bowie area. He's at the Judah Temple AME Church. And this brother is in a series. I came on his show for just a second on Monday. I think it's called More Talk Monday. And he is on there, and he is in a series on the family. So if you all want to really get some more in addition to what we're doing, it doesn't take away from what we're doing. And I am not at a point where I think that I cannot send somebody in the direction where something good is going on. But that brother, Pastor Scott Moore, he is doing a powerful teaching on family and things of that nature. And so if you're looking for a good church out in the Bowie area, I suggest you look him up and get out there with him. He is doing some awesome stuff, and I wanted to shout him out so that you can get in touch with him. It'll change your very life. Now listen, I want to get into this a little bit because I was praying concerning this broadcast and concerning what we were going to do, and we've been talking about the prodigal son and what was causing the dysfunction in the family. I mean, him and his brother wasn't talking. He wanted to be a servant after he got away, didn't even want to be considered a son, and then the older brother would only talk to his brother, which was his father's son, wouldn't refer to his brother as his brother, referred to his brother as your son. There was a lot of dysfunction, and one of the things that I found when I was talking with the Lord about this is that if we're going to deal with the dysfunction in the family, it's got to start with the parents. It's got to start with the parents. If you go to the book of Genesis, Genesis tells us, Steph, read Genesis chapter number 2, verse 18, Genesis 2, verse 18, and then read verse number 21, and we're going to read that. Genesis 2, verse 18.
And the Lord God said, "It is not good that man should be alone. I will make him a helper comparable to him."
Now he's saying to him, it is not good for man to be alone. I'm going to make him a helper that's comparable, that completes, that has what he needs and offsets what he has. You don't need somebody that is just like you. You know, one of the crazy things is that we want somebody that's just like us, and then there's nothing that is going to complement or be comparable to.
Right.
And so now you wind up being in competition with instead of helping to complete. And anybody that is in competition with you will never help to complete you. I'm going to say that again. Anyone that is in competition with you will never help to complete you. And so husband, wife, if you all are in competition, I can do this, I can do this. Well, it's not a question, sweetheart or sir, whether you can do what your life mate does. The thing is, are you helping to complete by overstepping your lines? If you overstep your lines, so sweetheart, if you're trying to be the man of the house, you're out of order. And you will never get the best of him, because then he's going to either try to smash you or keep you. And when I say smash, I'm not talking about the sex version. I'm talking about keep you from being the best you that you can be, because you are out of line. And so now the competition comes in, where he has to sometimes knowingly and or unknowingly try to put you in your place. And it's not a matter of he does not think that you can do it. It's that you have gotten out of order in the home somehow as a result of something that maybe came up in how you were raised, something that was happening in your house, something that you saw as a dysfunction between your mother and your father, or your father wasn't there, or your mother was a this or that. It can be any number of things, but God gave specific roles for each person to play. If you read it, if you see it, we're out of order. Adam was the one that was the worker. Eve was the one that was the keeper of the house. I didn't say it. The book said it. It doesn't mean that you can't work, sweetheart. It's just that the order was, if you were doing, it was for the advancement of the home inside. He did the advancement of the home outside. Just like a woman can create from the inside, man creates from the outside, because the woman is the womb man. WOMBMAN, man with a womb. She can create destiny from the inside by producing children. Man creates destiny from the outside by tilling the ground, working, making money. So when she does what she does from the inside out, he does what he does from the outside in, then they complement or are comparable, comparable, or completing each other.
Makes sense.
Whew.
That makes sense.
That was the system. Now watch what it says. God says there's nobody comparable to him. Now I want you to do some stuff before you go to verses 21. Read verses 19 and 20 before, because people, I always share with everybody that the Lord told him that there was something for every animal, but there was nobody for Adam. And that was in verse 18. Now read verse number 19, please.
Out of the ground the Lord God formed every beast of the field and every bird of the air, and brought them to Adam to see what he would call them. And whatever Adam called them, each living creature, that was its name.
Now, in other words, God says, I'm going to give you a helpmeet that's comparable to you. That's what he told him in verse number 18. But then in verse number 19 and verse 20, he makes him name animals. It's like, well, why are you making me name animals? I thought you said you're going to give me something. Why are you, what's this delay? What's this pause? God says, I'm about to give you someone, but before I give you who I'm going to give you, I'm going to see how well you name what's already here, because the Bible teaches us that when Adam was put into a sleep, when he woke up, the woman was there and he had to name her woman or womb man. And if Adam had not practiced naming animals first, he may have mistakenly given his wombed man or womb man an animal name, just like men today, because they've not had practice with naming. They are now calling women female dogs, calling them B words, because they have not had any practice naming what God has given to them. And because man serves as the priest, as the king, as the overseer of the family or of creation, Because man started out, if he starts calling a woman by a dog's name, then you're going to find that women have become comfortable calling each other by dogs' names. True. It is the trickle-down effect of authority. Man, you may not want to acknowledge it, but God put him in that position, and as he goes, so goes the rest of society and creation. Y'all want to say anything before I move on with this?
No, I think that's good.
Okay. Come on, Steph.
So Adam gave names to all the cattle.
Adam gave names to all the cattle. Adam gave names to all of the cattle. God made the cattle, but he ain't name them.
Right.
Go ahead.
To the birds of the air.
God made the birds, but he ain't name them.
To every beast of the field.
God made the beast of the field, but he didn't name them.
But for Adam, there was not found a helper comparable to him.
There was not a helper comparable to him. Birds had mates. Cattle had mates. Fish had mates. Everything had mates, but man didn't have mate. But God said, I'm going to leave the naming of them to you, but you're going to have to leave the finding of what you want to me.
And I think that's significant with just what we say now. You got to know your role.
You got to know your role.
Your place. A lot of times we try to step outside of our role, our place, and try to do what we're not supposed to do or do somebody else's role, and then end up messing up what's supposed to be. Yeah.
And we don't wind up even doing what we were supposed to do.
Right.
We're so busy out of our lane doing what somebody else was assigned to do. And again, let me get it clear. It's not that you cannot do.
Right.
If you've got 2 arms, 2 legs, you're functioning, you can do anything anybody else can do. In the workforce, women, equal work, equal pay. But when you come home, that's not the rule.
Know your role.
You have to know the difference between what you are doing every day in the world and what's your responsibility in the home. It's not my responsibility to take a back seat as a man in the home and push my wife to do the stuff that I ought to be doing. It's not, I'm out of line if I'm doing that. I'm out of line if I'm doing that. If you are a mother and you are making your son be the man of the house when he has not yet been a boy and has not had his responsibility, you are now forcing him, get ready mothers, because we're going to deal with this, get ready. Because if you're making him the man of the house when he is 12 or 13, you cannot get upset when he brings home a baby at 15. Because men make babies. See, you all weren't ready. You can't get upset if you're making him the man of the house and then he goes out and does what he can do to make money, drops out of school, sells drugs, stands on the corner. You can't be upset because you told him he was man of the house, because you were not able to either keep the man or did not let the man stay, or you all's relationship did not work, and now you want your boy to be the man of the house. Sit up, you're the man now. Your father is gone. He's 12 or 13. He ain't ready to be the man. And sir, you are out of order. If you are now seeing your daughter as the woman of the house, just because you've got children and you did not let the woman that you make them with stay with you, or you all are not together, your oldest daughter cannot wind up being the woman of the house, because then that's going to make some blurred lines where you're going to think that it's okay for you to look at her in a sensuous or sensual way, and that is not the order.
It's upsetting when I see some of these young people who are not even 12, 11 or 12, and they're now having to be responsible for the younger siblings because the parents are not even there, or they're choosing to live their life, and now the oldest child is having to, be the parent for the younger siblings, and they're not even teenagers themselves.
They're not.
Or when a young girl is developed, because now females develop a little quicker.
Oh my God, yes.
And so these females are developed at an early age where they're like 9 or 10 and have a full body, and now the parents or the fathers are looking at these daughters as if they're full grown, where just because I may look a certain way doesn't mean mentally I'm grown, doesn't mean that I am mature. Emotionally I'm not mature. And so we have to be mindful of those changes in those things, and we have to again know our role.
And that is why you'll see, and I'm going to drop this in there and then I'm going to let Steph finish reading. I'm going to drop this in here. Listen. These girls who have grown up and, as you stated, matured quicker. They're maturing so very, very fast. And mothers, fathers, you all are not helping in some degree. I'm going to drop this parenthetically before I move on. You can't be putting all these extensions and long fingernails and all of this stuff on your kids, and they 6 and 7 years old, and you got them wearing extensions and fingernail. How old were you all when I wound up letting you all get y'all's eyebrows done and putting on makeup and stuff like that?
We was about to graduate from high school.
I promise you. No, y'all call me old-fashioned, old fogey, whatever you want to. But there is a timing for everything. You've got your child, 7 years old, 12 years old, 13 years old, and you all calling each other, and your child is calling you by your first name, and now you are your child's friend, and you aren't even parenting them anymore. Well, what can I say? Well, that's what I was doing when I was their age. No, what you can do is you can tell them what is right, even if you weren't right at the time that you were doing it. And so now you've got these girls who have developed very, very quickly, and now they're dressed looking older, and they're just sometimes 23, 25 years old, but they've got these boyfriends or these male friends who are in their mid-40s, 50s years old and everything like that. And they're now looking to these guys. Why? Because they are looking for love that they did not get from fathers, but the only thing they have to offer is their bodies in a form of love. And so the man takes the body that she is offering in love and gives her what she was missing as a father, which may be some training, some teaching, some insight, but he is now giving her things that should be given to a woman, to her as a young, she passed 18, you've got to have something in you. That's why it's so damnable to say that, 50 is the new 30 or the new 20 or stuff like that. All you are doing is you are now making some older guy now go back and mess up some younger woman's life. Or you talk about, well, I'm just a cool guy, ain't nothing an old man can do for me. All you are doing is now messing up somebody's son to the degree that he'll no longer have the proper respect for seniored women. And I know that the whole world is messed up. And, my friend Bishop Marvin Winans, he wrote a song many, many years ago, said that God's the only thing right left in a wrong world.
Wow.
Yeah, there is something, the world has gone so far left until we're calling wrong right, we're calling right wrong. And so we're out of order, and the whole family dynamic is messed up because now my wife is younger than my daughter.
Yeah.
My wife is younger than my daughter, or their peers. So now here is my wife and here is my daughter. There is only a 5-year difference between my wife and my daughter because at 60, I'm just going on and saying I'm the new 40. Yeah. I am the new 40.
Or age is nothing but a number.
Age is nothing but a number.
But it does have significance.
Oh, I promise you it does. I promise you it does. And so this is some of the stuff that we want you all to get a hold of because the dysfunction of the family is one that started from adults. And as long as we continue to perpetuate that, you cannot discipline your children or beat the hell out of your children for a standard that you created and they're now following. You can't be upset. And I'm saying this to you right now. You can't be upset if you let that spirit. And I'm telling you that a lot of the stuff that we're seeing our children do, it is because we brought that spirit home. Well, no. I never brought that in the house. Whatever you have done anywhere, that spirit rides you. That's why you need to be able to get a hold of my books. I'm telling you, it's going to help you, especially my Learning to Soar. There are certain spirits that are riding on your family simply because you did not deal with it. Keep reading, Steph. Watch this.
And the Lord God caused Adam a deep sleep. And the Lord God caused a deep sleep to fall on Adam.
He put Adam to, he says, now I'm going to give you a helpmeet. Chapter 2 of Genesis, verse 18, 2:18. I'm going to give you a helpmeet. I'm going to let you name animals that I've created. I'm going to let you name your environment, but I'm going to give you the environment. You name it what you want it to be called. And then the next thing he says to him is this. I'm putting you to sleep. I'm going to give you the helpmeet, but you aren't even wise enough to know who to pick.
Wow.
You're not wise enough. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have to bring to you who you're supposed to have. And I'm going to bring to you who you're supposed to have by reaching into you. Read this.
And he slept. And he took one of his ribs and closed up the flesh in its place.
Now, I love the fact that it says he slept. Because that means that he relinquished God's choice to God. Listen, everybody say, I'm looking for this, I'm looking for that. Not by some of the ways you're going about it.
Right.
You're not trusting God. You're doing everything you trust in God. Now watch this. when God was bringing him who he was going to bring for him, get ready, all of the animals he created from their environment. Man, Genesis 2 verse 7, Genesis 2 verse 7. Read that Genesis chapter 2 verse number 7, please.
And the Lord God formed man of the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life. The man became a living being.
Now read for me, please, Genesis chapter number 1, verse 26, please.
Then God said, let us make man in our image, according to our likeness. Let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the air, and over the cattle, over all the earth. Earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps on the earth.
Man is made two ways. He is made of dust and divinity. Dust of the ground and the divine. He's made in the image and likeness of God, and he's made in his environment. However, God blows into man's nostrils, Genesis 2 verse 7, and man becomes a living being, a living soul. Remember that we are Trinity. We are spirit, have a soul, live in a body. If God does not breathe his breath into us, all we are is dirt and emotions. It takes the Spirit of God to give us balance. Without his Spirit in us, we are dirt and emotions. So it takes his breath in us in order to make us in his image. Now watch what it says. Please step, because it says that God puts man to sleep. And then he does the same thing to pull the woman out of man that he did to make man. He pulled man out of himself, mixed him with his environment. Then when it came to getting the woman, he pulled the woman out of man. So man is pulled out of God. And since man is the image and likeness of God, woman is pulled out of man. So if man is God-breathed, then that must mean that woman cannot be in a lower position if she comes out of man. See, that's why the Bible says that no man has ever hated his own body. So you love your wife as you do yourself, because she comes out of you. A man that does not know how to love his woman is because he has never learned how to love himself. A man that will abuse a woman is because he has self-hatred and he is too cowardly to deal with himself, so he beats what reminds him of him. Because if she came from out of you, and she is bone of your bone and flesh of your flesh, then however you treat her is a reflection of how you feel about you. Woo! Or the lack of how you treat her is a reflection of how you don't feel about her. And listen, I'm going to just say this to you, gentlemen, and I'm going to go ahead and finish this part up. If you don't plan on making a future with this woman, would you please stop messing up some other man's future? Because the woman is actually going to be somebody's future. And if you're not planning on her being yours, stop messing over her. Stop messing over her. And sweetheart, if all you're doing is you just in this for the whatever you can get from him, please get out of that. Because he might be a good man to somebody else. But because you dog him so badly, he then takes what he has learned from your relationship into the next relationship, and the person that he is going into the next time is going to have to deal with all of his pain of what was done, and he's going to treat that person the very same way, saying, well, I'm now going to hurt someone before I get hurt. Because we play those games. We take the baggage, whether you like it or not, whether you want to hear it or not, we take the baggage of previous relationships into next relationships. And then the next person has to deal with what the previous person did in the relationship that is gone. Y'all want to say anything before I jump on? Because I'm
It's just a tough thing when you kind of think about it, because nowadays, and even our generation, we're in a place where when it comes to relationships, we do it for the sake of entertainment.
What's it called again, Steph?
Situationships. We do it because of where we are at the time and what we want, and it's not really a commitment that's there.
No
unfortunately.
commitment.
And so even when if it's our females, we're trying to look for a man, there aren't many that's out there because people are there playing games with other people.
Absolutely.
Just for the moment. And so trying to find somebody that would be there for the long run as far as commitment, it doesn't exist. I was telling somebody the other day, I was like, my parents, they just celebrated, 40 years of being married together. They've been with each other for about 46 years, but married together for 40 years. And it was just so shocking, like, that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
And even though it was a different time and a different, era, but still, when does commitment becomes an expiration date for some relationships?
Right.
Why can't it be longevity in relationships? Why is it because we're now in generations later that commitment, just stopped being long lasting? So you almost have to kind of consider, is it the other person or is it me?
Yep.
Am I using them for what I want and that's it? Do I really want to be faithful or can I be committed or accountable? So you just, it takes the thing as far as the maturity to evaluate why you do what you do and why you settle for who you settle, and then what you can change to be better and do different.
And that's why we're doing this Family Matters Conference. And that's what we've been teaching all this time. Steph, you want to say anything?
Just real quick, as far as, the maturity level when it comes to relationships, because like Jenny said, it is a lot of entertainment that happens. But once you get a certain age, the entertainment, it gets old. And then you almost, because you're accustomed to it and that's what you're used to, and then you see like, your peers have relationships or they're talking to somebody, you don't want to be left out. And it's like, okay, well, let me just jump into this. So I have somebody I can say I'm talking to too, or somebody that's paying attention to me too. But in the long run, like you said, it's changing your future and that other person's future on a whole nother path that's almost kind of unnecessary, and it kind of wastes so much time outside of like physically, but like spiritually, emotionally, and you get into certain things and it's almost pointless.
I'm interested. I'm sitting here and I'm listening to both of you all, and I'm hearing that, I thought situationship was kind of, updated. But now I'm hearing that you all actually use the word entertainment for relationships.
Yeah.
That's amazing to me, because let me say, every Friday, my wife and I will have date day. And we'll go out to movies sometimes, we'll go get massages, and with the massage, they give me a receipt to let me know I had the massage. But we cannot reuse that receipt. That was for something past.
Okay.
If I go to the movies, I know I'm getting ready to go and see, The Nun or whatever, Equalizer 2, whatever it is. And I go there, and they wind up, when I get there, they tear the receipt.
Sure.
And I see the movie, and they let me keep the torn part that's left. I can't reuse it.
Right.
But it lets me know what I have had. When you look at relationships as entertainment, you can wind up having receipts, but you'll have no relationship. You've got something that shows that you were at one time something, but nothing showing that you currently are anything. And so the entertainment part of calling your relationships entertainment, it means that you're just getting this person for the moment.
That's exactly what it is. I know it's nothing long. It's not long term.
Wow.
But then even we was talking about, even though it's not long term, the feelings that you
there you go, because you have short term on the receipt,
right?
But you have long term emotional attachment.
That's very true.
Because then if it's short term, then if we have sex, and I know that we don't do the sex outside of marriage, but if we have sex, then those emotions are still there as if they are long term, and you have an expectation because you gave your body, even though you had no expectation, allegedly, on the relationship because it was only entertainment. And so you'll wind up, somebody else, I can't even see what they're saying right there, somebody else winds up having to pay for your entertainment. Because now you're coming wanting somebody else to do more than what the last person you entertained did, because they had no commitment, but they do have the receipts. Show me the receipts. I got the receipts. But there is no commitment whatsoever. Steph, read that again, because I want you to read that because I'm about to share something.
Verse 22?
Yes.
Then the rib which the Lord God had taken from the man, he made into a woman.
And of course, we've heard this over and over again. He took a rib, not a bone from the man's foot for man to step on the woman, not a bone from his hand for man to manipulate her, not a bone from his back for her to be behind him. No, he took a rib. What is a rib? A rib is a part of the cage that protects vital organs. It protects all of the kidneys and the heart and everything. So women by nature are protectors of emotions. They're protectors of vital organs. Their creation says that when I get with my man, I'm going to protect your heart, not break your heart. When I get with my man, I'm going to make sure that internally you can function and not break down, because my created role is for the purpose of protecting your vital organs. But because she is taken from a rib, she is under the man's arm. Whenever a man wants to hug, he protects the ribs. Whenever a man is about to, if he's playing football, he covers everything, protecting the ribs, which means that as the woman protects the vital organs, the man who works from the outside, because remember, women work from the inside out, man from the outside in, women are protecting the vital organs from the inside. They're saying, I got your vital organs on the inside, sweetheart. And he says, well, if you've got me from the inside, I'm gonna make sure I don't get no cracked ribs, no broken ribs. I'm going to protect myself. If a man is falling out of a window, he tries to protect vital organs. He may break an arm or a leg, but he does not want to break ribs, because if a rib gets broken, it's then going to puncture a lung. It can puncture a heart. So he has to protect the rib. And sir, your responsibility is to protect your rib, because your rib is protecting your heart.
Yeah, wow.
If we both do our roles, we'll be doing well. I didn't have time to get through all of this that I want to, but I do want you to understand that the very first ones, read that last part, Steph, because I think it's important. It says, the rib part, and I want somebody to get this.
And he brought her back to man.
Uh-huh.
And Adam said, this is now bone of my bone.
Bone of my bone.
Flesh of my flesh.
Yep.
She shall be called a woman.
Wombed man, or drop the M and the B and just have WOMAN, wombed man or womb man. Go ahead.
Because she was taken out of man.
So I am now, she is now a part of me. She's bone of my bone. She's flesh of my flesh, because she was taken out of me. Listen, the first people on the planet were a man and a woman, a husband and a wife, because the next part says, for this cause will a man leave his father and mother and cleave to his own wife. Why? Because the very first persons on the planet were parents, not children. So if there is dysfunction in the home, we've got to go back and check the parents and not blame the children. Yes, Cain killed Abel. We're going to get in that next time. But what had happened that made Adam not recognize the dysfunction amongst his sons, and what made Eve not recognize the dysfunction about what came out of her body, that both of them are in the house, but yet the sons can kill each other in the field. Wow. We're going to deal with some of this family dysfunction. Listen, it's 11 o'clock. I don't know how they're going to make it known that I'm off or not, but my time is up. I appreciate you, WBGR family. I appreciate you, YouTube family. I love you. I am Pastor J.E. Sturdivant. Who are you again?
Steph Betts.
And you are?
I am Janice.
And there are some people that are on the air because they can afford to be on the air. Yep. Others are on the air because they like the way they sound on the air. But we leave by telling you our moniker, and that is this. We on the air because what?
We got something to say.
I said we got something to say.
We got something to say.
God bless you. We appreciate you. Thank you, WBGR. Thank you,
all
YouTube.
so much.
Share this, please. Each of you all share this. This is some good stuff. Yep. I've run out of time, but I didn't run out of word. Come back next week, same time. I got some more to do it. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you so very much. I appreciate you. Thank you, YouTube. Please do it. Share this. Our numbers have dropped off since we've gone to YouTube. I need you all to share this and tell everybody, get back on this with us. The numbers have dropped off, but the knowledge is not. We need you. need you all to get back on here and stay with us. We love you. We appreciate you. Don't forget, 3 o'clock, we'll be back on again on this very same YouTube channel. We want to see you again. And don't forget, tonight, we're going to be at Faith United Ministries, 7905 Fernham Lane in District Heights, Maryland. We're going to be testifying tonight. We want you all to come. Tell your testimony. Get your testimony in. We're going to pray a little bit. We're going to tell our testimonies. Then we're going to give away free groceries. And then we're going to be out of here. We love you. We appreciate you. Peace.